No, no, dude, it's straight up not attacking it. No, there's no way the thing is shiny, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way. All right, you know what? Let me try and battle it. Hold up, 1 second here, dude. There's no way this thing is shiny. Dude, hold up. Yo, no way, dude. This thing is shiny. Yo, yeah, I just saw the stars. Oh my goodness. Yo, that's why I wasn't attacking it. Oh man, that's so awesome. That is our first shiny in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LetsNot, and welcome to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Alrighty, guys. So of course, I'm back, and the very first thing I wanted to do is really jump in with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and talk about probably the thing that everybody cares the most about. I guess it maybe if I don't know, maybe if you're me at least, shiny hunting. So let's jump into it. All right, so with shiny hunting, right off the bat, what I want to do is I want to take a step and I want to talk about the rates, right? Because I feel like anytime someone kind of jumps into one of these videos, chances are there's a lot of you who are just going to take the video and pause it, right here and, just look at the rates. So up next to me, obviously, as I've kind of been talking here, we see the full shiny rates available in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, right? And, huge shout out to Sabuna, or also known as Anubis on Twitter. So as we can see in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there's kind of a few different things we've got to be aware of. Breaking these down, there's kind of the three major ways to shiny hunt, which is, random encounters, mass outbreaks, which are a little different than they worked in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and finally, breeding as well, of course. So each of these come with different rates, and I'm going to take a moment here to kind of break down which of these is the best way to shiny hunt and what these even mean. Like, for example, if you've never opened up the game, what is an outbreak? What is sparkling power? What is a shiny charm, right? So let's jump into it. So very first things that I'm going to go over is going to be kind of the sparkling power, because obviously we kind of see that wild encounters there. We see that big old sparkling power level 3 and how that just really, really changes up those rates. So the way that sparkling power works is it's going to be basically kind of like a curry buff from the old games, but now they're sandwiches. So you can, just like before where you were able to make curry, in this game you can kind of make sandwiches instead. And some of these sandwiches, if you use the correct ingredients, will actually buff your shiny rate, which makes them incredibly valuable. However, if you want to get sparkling power level 3, you're really, really, really going to have to buff up those rates quite a bit using what's called Spicy Herbs Mystica, or Spicy Herba Mystica, or something like that. They got goofy names. But anyway, the problem with those is you're not going to be able to see those until very, very late game, because the Spicy Herby... I'm going to have trouble saying this all day. Because the Spicy Herba Mystica won't show up until you start beating 6-star raids, or I guess the 5-star special raids, right? And they have a random chance to drop as a reward from those. From what we can tell, too, it doesn't really matter which kind of Herba Mystica you get. All of them seem to allow you to create that sparkling power level 3. However, even though I'm showing sparkling power level 3 here, there's by no means a reason you can't get sparkling power level 1 or 2 much earlier in the game, and those will just have less of effect, right? So each level of sparkling power you have will increase your shiny rolls by 1, aka doubling your shiny rate, right? So you start out at 1 in 496. If you've got sparkling power level 1 but nothing else, you'll go up to 1 in 2048, right? Sparkling power level 2, 1 in 1365. So again, with nothing else, even level 1 buffs make a huge difference in your shiny hunting. Cool. Shiny charm, just like before, complete your Pokedex, get the shiny charm, and those will, of course, as always, add the extra rolls, right? So adding those 2 extra rolls to your table. But I think kind of the big hero that we want to talk about here, and the thing that's kind of the most important, is outbreaks. So let me actually take a moment here, jump into the game itself, and explain to you all what are outbreaks and how do outbreaks work. And then after that, we'll talk about a little bit on some tips and tricks, and just show you guys some footage of me catching my first shiny. All right, switch the screens. Alrighty, so here we are in the wonderful region of Paldea. But, right off the bat, what we can kind of already see here is my wonderful little shiny Wigglytuff is kind of taking a nap here. And, yeah, let's wake on up. So, anyway, let's go ahead and take a moment here to talk about the outbreak. So, the mass outbreak feature in this game does work quite a bit differently than Pokemon Legends Arceus, but fundamentally it's still kind of similar. So you still open up your map, and also if you guys haven't done this and you think the map is super annoying, make sure to hit the R button to kind of lock it in so north is always up. Again, that makes the map so much easier to use. So just a pro tip there if you guys haven't already. But anyway, so the outbreaks. So the way that outbreaks work is they have a chance of spawning anywhere on the map, right? So if we zoom in one level to the map and look around, you'll notice that any of these question mark symbols are going to be denoting an outbreak. So there's two ways an outbreak will pop up. Either they're going to be the question marks here, or if you already have caught the Pokemon or seen the Pokemon, if you've already registered the Pokemon in your Pokedex, so battled or caught the Pokemon, it'll actually show up like this. And it's actually kind of harder to tell because it's like just a little symbol behind it. Regardless, we're going to go ahead and head over here, and we're going to go ahead and show you guys what an outbreak looks like and kind of how quickly you can clear these and how efficiently you can clear these. So let's go ahead and fly over. As we saw too in the table, the way that outbreaks work are you're going to be at base shiny rate just right off the bat. After you kill 30, you're going to get one more roll. So after your 30 are gone, you're at 1 in 2048. And then finally, after you kill 60 of the Pokemon, right, which again is pretty quick in this game, and we'll show you why, you'll actually be at that very, very increased rate of 1 in 1360, roughly. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and head over here. Now, also, just again, if you're brand new and you're wondering, well, how quickly can I do this? You can really do this as soon as you, basically, as soon as you kind of get through the tutorial. However, you'll probably want to have some of the abilities for your ride Pokemon like Miriodon here, so you can do things like climb up walls, things like that. And the way you unlock these abilities is by completing the Titan Pokemon. All right, so right off the bat, we are now at our outbreak, right? So next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make sure that my lead Pokemon is a Pokemon that's kind of good or efficient at kind of clearing these out. So if I go to my bag here, I'm actually just going to pick, ironically enough, the evolved form of Watchroll here, just because it'll be able to, kind of clear these pretty quickly. And then simply by pushing R, I'm going to start to kind of clear these out, kind of let him go around and destroy and kill his children. Which is, a little twisted when I think about it. One thing I want to point out too is don't worry about it if you're not paying attention, because if a shiny does pop up, you won't actually be able to kill that shiny. Like your Go Pokemon will not attack it. It will refuse to attack it. And I'll actually show you guys some evidence of this because my first shiny that I caught, I didn't even know it was a shiny. I was in a situation similar to this, and then my Pokemon refused to fight it. So I'll show you guys what that looks like when that happens. All right, he's just now fighting things way over here that have nothing to do with the outbreak. So I do want to make sure I keep him focused on the outbreak, right? And every so often you're gonna have to kind of redirect him and say, hey, go ahead and fight this, right? But overall, it's a very chill thing, right? So like going through 30 to 60 of these, you guys can tell, is actually pretty quick. Like again, it's a pretty efficient little process. But anyway, the more I do this, again, the game will eventually kind of reload, and then, every time another one spawns, that's another chance at a shiny spawning. Another kind of cool thing is you can kind of save and come back to this if you like. That said, the outbreaks do reset daily, so just know that if you hit that daily reset, your outbreak will disappear. It's also important to know too, in that same regard, is if you really want to start farming this early and you don't get any low area outbreaks like this one, you can most definitely change your switch clock to get kind of the outbreak that you want, or at least a different outbreak, right? Reset those outbreaks. All right. So again, that is how you can shiny hunt with outbreaks. Again, going through this process, you want to take out 60 to get that maximum rate, and ideally you want to have that sandwich buff, either sparkling power level 1, 2, or 3, depending on how far you've kind of progressed in the game, right? Okay, so with that, I want to go ahead and kind of jump over and show you guys my first shiny that I got. And again, it kind of do a little FAQ and kind of answer a couple questions, talk about little tips and tricks. So once again, let's switch on over. Alrighty, so we're back. So this is actually kind of a cool little clip because I was in multiplayer with Zen. So this does a few cool things for us. As you can see, he does have his Annihilate out, and it is currently not attacking the Iggly buff. We actually didn't even realize at this point in time yet that the Iggly buff was a shiny Iggly buff. So it's actually kind of a situation where we're sitting here like, all right, well, why isn't it attacking? Is it shiny? We can't tell. So I did send out my Pokemon there, my Fuecoco, and then you can see it's very clear. Even when I directly tell it to target it, the Fuecoco will not target this Iggly buff, right? So, we were like, all right, well, Iggly buff has a shiny that you can barely tell. So maybe we fight it and Sure enough, turns out, of course, Battle the Igglybuff, shiny sparkles come out, which is great. So again, there you can clearly see shinies can pop up in multiplayer, and your Pokemon will not attack the shiny Pokemon no matter what. Not yours or your partners in multiplayer. However, there are a couple things to keep in mind here. Whoever you're playing multiplayer with, whoever's loaded into your instance can definitely take the shiny. So if Zen were to try and catch the shiny Igglybuff there would be absolutely nothing stopping Zen from catching the shiny Igglybuff. So keep that in mind. That could be an issue depending on who you're inviting. If you're inviting kind of random players to play with you and that they're not your friends. Lucky in this case, Zen and I are pretty chill buddies, so we were able to kind of work this out. And nobody was upset. There were kind of no feelings hurt after this instance. On top of that, there you can see kind of the shiny symbol in the screen there itself. Another kind of interesting thing that I was kind of thinking of, and Zen and I were kind of talking, we'll actually test this more later, is theoretically in multiplayer, if let's say I were to save when I found the shiny, and then let's say Zen were to catch the shiny, I should be able to then kind of kill my game, reload it, and catch the same shiny, because you are able to kind of save and rebattle a shiny, because that shiny is generated not at the time of battle, but when the Pokemon loads in. So if you are playing with a friend and you guys do both find a shiny together, again, theoretically, you should both be able to catch that shiny as long as the player who's joining catches it first and not the player that's hosting. Again, we thought about this after the fact, so we weren't able to test it here, but we will be testing this in the near future. And just a couple other things I want to talk about. All the static resets, can't do it. So no shiny starters, no shiny legendaries, nothing like that. I do recommend you turn off autosave the moment you see a shiny, because again, let's say if you go into battle and it kills itself or something, the game will autosave after that battle. So definitely before you go into battle, save your game and then fight the shiny. Again, for the same multiplayer reason we were talking about, because then, if, let's say the other person caught it, you could save it and potentially catch it as well. And yeah, I think that's really all you need to know. Of course, I didn't mention it, but the Masuda method is back. So breeding Pokemon with, one of any other language, usually a Ditto, a foreign Ditto. But again, any foreign Pokemon will work. It's back, and it's probably still the most efficient way to hunt Pokemon. But again, because overworld shinies do exist in this game, like we saw with the Igglybuff, well, like we kind of saw with the Igglybuff, right? It's, in my opinion, it's kind of more fun to go out there and find wild shinies. And just because overworld shinies exist, you will be finding way, way more than you would otherwise if you had to battle to find out if they were shiny. Alrighty, guys. So that wraps up the video. I think I talked about everything I want to. So again, you see kind of random encounter shinies. Hopefully I answered some of your questions of, well, how do shinies work in multiplayer? And will my Let's Go Pokemon kill the shinies? And, hopefully cleared that up for you. But anyway, I plan to make a bunch more videos about Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. So if you guys do want to see more of my content, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. We will be streaming this game on this YouTube channel even more later on today and more times throughout the week. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time.